everyone, I am Wesley Weeks, and welcome back to another episode of Pop Culture and Hobby Shops of the Metro. I have a special treat for you guys. We are back at another pop culture shop focusing on video games, Star Wars, horror films, a little bit of everything and everything. So without further ado, let's take a look inside to see what we can find. My name is Wesley Weeks. Join me as we visit a variety of pop culture and hobby shops that can be found in the Omaha area that will spark your interest and inner child as we look at the world of plastic models, video games, comic books, trading cards, and beyond. Sit back as we discover pop culture and hobby shops of the Metro. Hello everyone, we are inside Pop Culture Exchange. As you can see, it is not letting down when it comes to the area of pop culture. We got old vintage movies, we have a whole bunch of video games, old movie props, you name it, they have it here at Pop Culture Exchange, which is completely ironic that it is almost the same name as our show. So I had to put this one on our list. Without further ado, let us sit down with Candy and see what his store is all about.
Hi, my name's Candy. I'm a co-owner of Pop Culture Exchange. My wife and I own the shop.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us. As we already walked through the shop a little bit, I've noticed that you literally have a little bit of everything from pop culture.
Yeah, pop culture stuff. I like to say general non-sports collectibles. It kind of generalizes that we don't specialize in sports collectibles. Some people, might be looking for that. It's good to let them know we don't specialize in that. But yeah, so general non-sports collectibles, pop culture, movies, video games, music, all that stuff.
Yeah, because I kind of noticed it's like you got more of the, movies, more of like some Star Wars kinds of stuff. You have so many little figurines.
Yep. Vintage toys, yeah, we do a lot of vintage toys, which are, a big part of pop culture, I feel like. But yeah, and also Funko Pops are obviously like the biggest toy collectible right now. We have a lot of those. But yeah, anything, movie related that's kind of why I started working at video stores, because I'm a big movie fan. That's what I collect personally. So but yeah, everything else, video games, I also listen to a lot of music. So that's other things we sell here.
So yeah, that brings up one of my questions. It's
sure.
What actually made you wanted to start doing a shop like this?
Well, like I said, when I was a kid, I always loved going to the video store. That was like the highlight of, my day, looking for a movie. But I would collect and things like that, and started working at a video store, years ago, and that's where I met my wife. And when we left that company, we started working from home. And then after about 5 years or so from working at home, we decided to maybe we could have our own shop. And then it just kind of, the seed was planted, and then here we are. This is almost 7 years now that the shop has been here, so it'll be 7 years in October. But yeah, that's how it, I got into this. But yeah, mainly it was movies and video stores were the things I liked the most, and working at a video store is what got me into this. Managing video stores, things like that. I used to manage a company that wasn't my own, so it's nice to manage one that is.
Oh yeah, so it must be like really hitting the heartstrings for you when you're running your own business. You can show people what your fandom is.
Yeah, I mean, there are things. Of course, a lot of what I have in the shop maybe isn't the type of thing I do collect. I try not to collect too many things. I think that I certainly try to focus it all on mainly movies, and I still collect movies, and so I'll still buy physical media. I know a lot of people, there are people who don't even have a DVD player anymore, but when I was a kid I had a VCR, and then when DVDs came out I had those, and now, I'll buy Blu-rays and things like that, but I also collect film, like 16mm prints. So movie collecting is still my main thing, and a lot of that, if I tell myself I'm only collecting 16mm films, they never come in the door. So that's one of those things where it's like most of the things that come in, I'm usually going to put on the shelf. I don't really collect a lot of the things that come in, which is a good thing for anybody who's coming in here, because you might get the idea that like some owners like are trying to keep all the cool stuff for themselves. Like I literally put everything out. So I really try not to collect a lot, mainly because like I've got a kid and space, and I collect a bunch of expensive things. My 3-year-old might get a hold of them,
Yeah, I get that because I have a huge like model Gundam collection.
Yeah.
And it's starting to take up quite a bit of room in my room.
And like I've thought, like there are certain collections I have that I don't use anymore, and that's why people get rid of their movies, because I don't have a DVD player, so why do I have all these? They just take up space, and I agree with them. If you're not gonna watch them, don't keep them.
That's kind of true.
Yeah. So for me, it's one of those things. Yeah.
Alrighty. So, what kind of objectives do you kind of have? You kind of gave an overview a little bit of like your shop. So, what kind of things do you try to do to help promote your business?
Well, I mean, a lot of people are finding us online. So, like, we try to post regularly on Facebook or Instagram. Mainly on Facebook, we'll take pictures of what we just got in, or like new arrivals. So stuff like that. People like to see that, and we'll get calls, and that way people know we'll be having stock, kind of on a regular basis. But other than that, really just trying to keep it all within the community, treat everybody right, I feel like I really focus on the local aspect of it. I don't do a lot of online stuff at all when it comes to the merchandise I have here. So it's if I can't sell it out of the shop, I'm usually not too interested in it. So it's more of a community thing, than it is like for me, it's like I don't want there to be no stores that look like mine. I want there to be more stores that are like this type of thing, because those are the stores I liked when I was a kid. So once they're all gone, that would be a sad day,
Yeah. So it kind of leads into one of my other questions is what, as a business owner, what did you learn about this type of industry when you started up your business?
I would say that those types of things I learned before I owned my own business, because I was a manager of a very similar type of business. And at the time they had a lot of locations in this area, and they had put me in charge of the management of all these locations. That's where I learned a lot of the basics of business, specifically profit and loss, so reading P&Ls and things like that, which I always found really, really fascinating and super informative as far as learning how a business works and how it all goes down. Because on the surface, yes, you have to spend a lot of money to create a business. It's more about how you're able to create the profit, and that could initially be very, very difficult. But luckily I was very familiar with profit and loss, which was something that I learned from a previous job. So when I did have this store, which, like I said, was about 5 years after working from home, it felt like I could just go right back into it. I would do exactly what I did at that store, but now I make all those decisions behind the scenes, so I control even more of that profit and loss. So I think what I learned from owning my own is that when you're in control, you can have a lot more profit.
I can definitely see that.
If you understand where it's coming from, it would be a lot better if you had all the control over it yourself, if you really care. Sometimes it was like pulling teeth to introduce something into a store that you don't own, even though it's in their best interest. It was difficult to do that, and now it's not something I would even think about before executing something like that. I would just do it. I mean, the only thing that would matter is, will this work? And if the answer is yes, then I'm going to do it. I don't have to ask anybody. I don't have to prove it. I don't have to go behind their back to prove it. I can just do it.
Yeah. So that kind of another one of the questions I kind of wanted to ask is, what kind of for anyone that's new to this type of shop and everything like that, what kind of products do you actually sell in your shop?
I mean, so basic stuff would be like video games, meaning consoles, games, accessories, or toys related to them. Movies, so DVDs, Blu-rays, tapes, I even have some film here and there. CDs, vinyl records, and then vintage toys, a lot of different, like, G.I. Joe, He-Man, Ninja Turtles, all, Transformers, wrestling stuff, posters. We have a lot of posters at this shop, and I think that I haven't been to a lot of shops lately, but I mean, this store has a lot of posters in comparison to a lot of other stores, like as far as like the variety of posters I can offer. So there's quite a few of those. That's something that I think that is pretty, it's a good seller around here because we have it's a college area. So there's a lot of dorms actually right there and almost in the same parking lot. People buy posters all the time. You just need something to decorate, Video games are a good thing too, and but yeah, I would say that video games and collectible toys are some of the bigger ones, but I mean, yeah, if you collect movies or music stuff, we have that kind of stuff too. But yeah, anything pop culture related though, so yeah, like all that stuff. We don't focus a lot on sports stuff. That's the main thing I don't have a lot of. But if you're looking for, like Kiss or Misfits merchandise, CDs, vinyl, figures, all that stuff, we've got all that stuff. Just a lot of fun things. I would say mainly fun collectibles, It's certainly one of those stores where it's a lot of stuff and it's a lot of different things. So if you're looking for something in particular, we can definitely point you in the right direction, but there's a lot of different things in here. So, yeah.
Alrighty, I think that would be a really good stopping point.
Sure, yeah.
Before we go, Candy here is offered to give us a tour of his shop, and as he clearly has stated, he has quite a bit of stuff for us to see. So, without...
Are we starting here?
No, not yet. I appreciate the enthusiasm, but before we actually do the tour, I have a question for you guys.
My name's Candy Pacheco. I'm the owner of Pop Culture Exchange in Omaha, Nebraska. And I want to ask you, when did the original Nintendo system come out in the United States? Hey, it's Candy from Pop Culture Exchange again, and I'm just gonna show you the store at this moment. So we've got a lot of figures, if you're like Predator, Aliens, Terminators, also some pretty cool blankets and rugs if you're into, Halloween themed or horror movies. CDs if you're a music collector, as well as vinyl records. All of our movies, DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks, box sets are all buy one, get one $1. We've also got over here a huge variety of posters, more collectibles. These ones are a little more of the sought after thing, so if you're looking for some, maybe harder to find stuff, check the cases. We'll usually put some stuff in there. Also the vintage card packs, wax packs, they're all buy 3 get 1, mix and match on those. Board games, old magazines or comics. One of my favorite things in the store that I had to put in there, something I remember from when I was a kid, it's a chicken machine, and this thing definitely gives you an egg. So let's take a look. Each one, 50 cents. This is just like something when I was a kid. Pull out the egg. This one kind of popped open, but you get a prize. It's more of an experience thing than it is like a really cool prize, but and afterwards you can take the prize, you can put the egg in there. This is my video game cabinet. Higher end stuff or home consoles would be in here. Home console games or home console systems are going to be in there, as well as some of the more interesting collectibles, individual Pokemon cards, hard to find video game collectibles. Got a wall of pops here. Not all the pops we have in the store, but a good majority of them are here. Some of the other pops will be in other sections. Here's our wrestling section. Some of the wrestling pops will be in there, but other wrestling things as well. We do have t-shirts, Star Wars, Boglins. The t-shirts we have here are, some Universal Monsters or Elvira, Munsters or Addams Family. More Star Wars. 99-cent bins, which we always put out some really cool stuff in there. Just added some vintage sheets over here. So if you're looking for some, twin size vintage sheets for your kids or, for your bachelor pad, however you want to do it. We've also got some more, so these are stuff from Trick or Treat Studios. We get a lot of things like that, including some of the big props and, masks and things. NECA figures we also get, so we actually get those from NECA. Boglins are one of my favorite things from the 80s, and when they brought those back, I thought that was really neat. So we do have those in stock as well. We have a local artist who does Woodburn's art, so he sells his stuff here as well. These are the used t-shirts that are $5 a piece, or you can get, you know, 5 of them for 20 bucks if you see any shirts you like in there. More posters. I just put out these awesome Spook Show ones that are just you know, replicas of the old drive-in, you know, double features, triple features, things like that. Let's continue over here. You know, movies, box sets, more video games, Lego section, video game stuff. My Star Trek stuff will be over here, right by the counter. New arrival movies. So if you're looking, you know, if you come in here a bunch and you want to know what's new for the movies, we'll put them here, Blu-rays and DVDs and whatnot. More comic book stuff. So this is like Marvel and DC items, as well as this wall here. Usually, you know, Marvel's going to be on this side, DC is going to be on this side. Marvel movies, DC movies, Marvel Pops. Another case of fun stuff, including like a lot of the higher end, like old G.I. Joe stuff will be in there. Some of the more fun, you know, DC and Marvel figures. Also, you know, Care Bears and Strawberry Shortcake and Smurfs as well. Polly Pocket. Anybody remembers that? This is a fun piece here. This is a this is just something we have, you know, that you can play in the store. It's the Super Nintendo kiosk. This would have been something you would see in a, you know, Kmart or a Shopko back in the early 90s. The TV itself is not original to it. This is something that I had somebody sell me. This is a prison TV. That's why it's clear. So that's, I thought that was a neat piece. You know, the old CRTs are fun, and you don't see clear ones every day. More movies on this side. So this is just our general, you know, population DVDs. There are DVDs everywhere as far as like different sections go. This section is going to be the horror movies. Everything else is going to be sort of mixed in, but in alphabetical order. And then our kids' movies and box sets are in a different spot. You know, other specialties are going to be in different spots. So movies are kind of everywhere, just like Pops are. And then we go to the counter here. So we've got Star Wars. This is more of the vintage or higher end Star Wars things, as well as our comics. Our new arrival comic bins right here. Back there we'll have our, you know, accessories if you're looking for cords or controllers for your systems or anything like that. We'll have stuff like that back there. Also some boxed games. So I mean, those will be back there, as well as like some of the higher end, like 1/6 scale figures. The ones from Trick or Treat Studios or Hot Toys will also be back there, typically. Then cartridge games. This is just enamel pins. And you know, these come from all over the place. Retro Go-Go, Trick or Treat Studios. We've also got some from Waxwork and Creepy Company in there. These are my cult classic movie section here. I just put these out to showcase some movies that, you know, that are fun to talk about, or, you know, impulse, you know, things. There are some 4Ks here, and like I said, 4Ks are also buy one get one $1. So if you're looking to stock up on some cheaper 4Ks, you know, just to test out your 4K stuff. But yeah, so cartridges will be in here, mainly you know, the original Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, but there's also Atari 2600, 5200, 7800. And then we've also got some Atari Jaguar, some Master Systems, and N64s in there. Those are getting really popular these days. Here's our toy show that's coming up in May 15th. So that's the one date we have now, but if anybody knows about that, they know it's a pretty cool show. We do replace the batteries in any of your games. If you're having issues with you know, saving on a game, it's usually a battery. There are other batteries that do other things, but mainly for these old ones, they're a save battery. We do replace those here, install in batteries, $8, and then we also clean discs for $1 each. This case is gonna have, you know, mainly like a couple of like some of the higher end figures that are on display, as well as some Funko Pops or some signed pieces. Got our, these are our pre-made Pokemon packs, so there's good mix in there. You get 10 basics, you get 1 holo in each one, so 11 cards each pack. Also buy 3 get 1 free, just like all my other packs. Candy Dish is something I've had since we opened. It's a courtesy. We just you know, come in, take a piece of candy. Got our stickers, some more wax packs, and other random things. This is the handheld stuff, so handheld systems, handheld games, they'll be in here, as well as like things like Amiibos and things like that. Some of the Switch stuff might end up in here, because like that's kind of a console that bridges the gap between the two, home and handheld. So more video game stuff: PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox, Xbox 360, Wii, DS, some NES games there as well. We also have novelty air fresheners, you know, so things like Gremlins or Universal Monsters, also other horror movie ones. More pins. We have a lot of Elvira merchandise, so if you're looking for things like that, we actually have a decent selection of that. Funny socks, like this is a Weekly World News one, which when I was a kid was really fun. They did stuff like Batboy, just back when fake news was funny. So let's see here. You know, more games, PSP, but there's also going to be some figures on this side. So there's, if you're looking for TMNT, we got wax packs, we got figures, we got vintage figures, we got newer stuff from NECA. Master Universe or Motu, right here. This is not one, this has just ended up here. So, Master Universe stuff here and here. More over here as far as patches, wallets, again, Vampira, Elvira, super neat stuff. More pins though. Usually my Power Rangers and Transformer stuff is going to be right here. That stuff's been super popular lately, so it hasn't been lasting long. But otherwise, the back corner here, I think is the last. I mean, we kind of talked about the back corner, right? We've been here, but we got masks, bigger items up top. This is probably one of the harder to find GI Joe pieces I've got. It's called the Defiant. Anybody who's a GI Joe collector knows what it is. It's a space shuttle. It's a huge playset. Definitely not something I see every day. We also have cell art. So this is not an original cell, but it is hand painted. But something like over here, this He-Man is an original cell. So if anybody doesn't, for those that don't know, an animation cell is how they made those cartoons. They're all hand drawn, hand painted, and photographed, and that's how they animate them. That's kind of like owning a prop from a cartoon because it's the only thing that they use to make them. Now obviously today everything's digital. In fact, since the mid to late 90s, there's no such thing as like cell animated unless you're just doing it for fun. There's very few people that'll still do that. It's just a lost art, I think. We also have some of the old glasses. So, you know, the ones that you used to get at Burger King back in the day. Star Wars and other things like that. More Star Wars things as well. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. There's stuff everywhere. I mean, but that's just kind of a basic rundown of what we've got and where things are. But there's things hidden in every corner. So you'll find a lot of things that I probably didn't mention just around. But yeah, just each section is going to be full of stuff like that. And yeah, and if you come in, you might get a whistle. I don't know. That doesn't work. I don't know what that is.
Thank you everyone again for joining us here at Pop Culture Exchange. Thank you, Candy, for showing us around your shop. It was so much fun seeing every cool little thing. And speaking of cool things, you got a working Tekken 2.
Yeah, Tekken 2. Yeah, it's a fun game. I don't mind playing it.
Do you mind if we take a spat?
Yeah, you can hit that button.
Alrighty.
Let's try it. Oh, new challenger. All right.
Alrighty.
Careful, that side doesn't work very well.
Oh.
And I'm good.
Well, this has been Pop Culture Exchange in the Metro, and I just lost.
You cut it there.
Thank you again for joining us here at Pop Culture Exchange. Candy did a very good job showing us what a wonderful shop he has and all sorts of goodies that you can buy. Speaking of goodies, I even managed to find myself a few little items, if you can call this a little item. This is a collector's edition from Tesla's Top Gun movie collector's set, which features an F-14 Tomcat, an A-4 Skyhawk, and one of the F-5 enemy fighters that were featured in the 1980s Top Gun movie. But this wasn't the only thing I managed to get. I even got something that I can actually display properly, and that is a Gundam Unicorn action figure by Bandai. This was so much fun being here at this shop. I've been Wesley Weeks, and I will see you guys in the next episode as we explore pop culture and hobby shops of the Metro. Till then, see you next time.